Just 5 minutes past the top of the hour. Thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Agenda. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. That is in case you've just joined, because we were here from 6:30 doing what we do best, ensuring that you're well versed with what is happening locally and internationally, but also creating some light moments here and there to spice up, to cherish, to brighten your morning. Now, in the agenda today, we want to focus on strengthening institutional SACCOs against loan sharks. Now, most of the times, many of us, there's a point where you need money. And truth be told, you don't have that money. Now, what comes to you is, let me get a loan. You want to move in the bank, usually the procedure is very long. But there are these friends of ours in desperation, enemies in happiness. You take a goat, you pay a cow. Or they give you a rabbit, they want a cow. Now, because they do things very fast, you're tempted to go to a money lender, either registered, no wonder number are not registered, but they expedite the process for you. What do you have on table? I have a car. How much is the car? Around 48 million. Well, how much are we giving you? 7 million. Bring the card, make an agreement that you have sold to us. Make another one that you've taken a loan. Now, when you ask for the figure you put, they'll tell you, brother, you can't put 7 million. Because in case you fail to pay, definitely if we can't say we bought your car, you sold your car to us at 7 million. Put 48 million, the value of the car. Now, because you're desperate, you run and get that money. At the end of the day, you can't take 7 million and you want to pay it back. Sometimes you're unable. They take the car and you cry, my vehicle was taken at 7 million. Or they may change and say, well, this is the agreement we have. Yeah. You've brought 7 million, but actually we gave you 48 million. So it all becomes a problem. But our government okayed a process known as cooperatives, the cooperative model. And it's common today when we talk about these credit, savings, and cooperative associations in our country, the SACCOs. So today we want to look at how to strengthen these SACCOs. That instead of going to a money lender, these loan sharks, I just go to my SACCO and get money. Join me, welcome my guests in studios this morning. I have two people who are so much into the cooperative model. Join me, welcome a man from the Mwalimu SACCO. Don't know if you've heard of that before, one of the successful SACCOs. And I know their net worth is even bigger than some commercial banks, I must say. Join me, welcome Robert Odong, who happens to be the business development manager at Mwalimu Cooperative Union. You're most welcome, Robert.
Yeah, thank you, Robert.
Good to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here this morning and share with the nation about the cooperative business model and the advantages to us of the loan sharks who are harassing our people left, right, and center.
And just next to me is Ms. Hayinza Justin, who is the head of partnerships, Uganda Cooperative Alliance. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chiraba, and good morning, viewers. Yes, I'm also happy to contribute to this topic of strengthening our institutional SACCOs, especially against those money lenders with the unfavorable conditions. So.
Now, I'll straightly go to my namesake this morning. First, when you talk about the Mwalimu Union, briefly let our viewer know what is this and also how relevant is it to the topic of discussion.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. Mwalimu Cooperative Union was a SACCO created by UNATO in about 2015 when they had an industrial action. And His Excellency, the President, in his wisdom, gave Mwalimu 25 billion shillings for onward lending to teachers in the country.
That is for government?
For government.
Yeah, teachers in government schools.
Teachers in government payroll. both the primary school teachers and secondary school teachers, and even universities and colleges. So the union has kept this portfolio, and it has grown in the billions, and the money is still there. And at first, we gave that money to teachers' SACCOS in the districts and in the schools, because you'll find a school like maybe Nabomali High School or Zambia, they have a SACCO. So they come to Walimu, and Walimu lends them money to give to the teachers who are their members. So the system worked very well, but during COVID, there was a problem because there was no business in between there. So we somehow declined, but the board and management changed and said, okay, our ultimate goal is to serve the teacher. And eventually they designed what we call a personal development loan, that irrespective of your membership to the SACCO, respective SACCOs in the country, who number about 185 that belong to Walimu. We can still through your SACCO, or you can come directly and Walimu gives you money. One, you must be on government payroll. And somehow it has helped teachers a lot. That when a teacher wants to borrow money, so long as you're on a government payroll and we have a software, you just download and go to your employer, usually in the district, the chief administrative officer, to guarantee you, and you get a loan. And somehow this has helped teachers. But nevertheless, there's high affinity for loans, that besides even that money, teachers countrywide still go to loan sharks who retain their ATM cards, national ID, academic credentials, mention it. And the government recently came in and said it is a criminal to retain somebody's national ID because of a loan. And we are here to still address that, teachers and all institutional SACCOs, that there's goodwill, and this is the time that we develop institutional SACCOs, especially like now for Walimus, guest teachers, and even other civil servants, and even other institutions like the churches. Instead of, okay, you'll find that maybe a church leader, a reverend or a reverend father, going to borrow money from a loan shark who may embarrass a man of God.
This very year we saw a story of a priest who ended up even killing someone.
Yes, you know, that is embarrassing, and you know, it tarnishes the name of the institution. Let us establish SACCOs, in our respective institutions, be it in a church, in a community, like now the PDM has gone to the community. That's an institution, because we are at the parish level. Instead of being harassed, government has helped us to establish the PDM SACCOs at the parish, and it has funded it 100 million in a quarter. It's not small money. So I encourage like people, even in my parish in Amonkakene, in Busia, I told them that this is an opportunity. Who can give you 100 million? Who can give you a SACCO 100 million in Uganda now? This is a good gesture. So what our people need to do, let us go and join those SACCOs. Joining means you pay membership fee so that we know you're a member. Number two, own it. Owning means you buy a share so that you own it. Number three, save with the SACCO, because the name is a savings and a credit. Save. Doesn't matter how much you get. Like I was with the friends a couple of days ago. They said, doesn't matter how much you earn. What is important in Uganda today, how much do you save per month? You may earn millions of shillings, but if you don't save, you can still be in trouble. Whereas an ordinary person who's just maybe earning less than 10,000 per day, but eats 5 or uses 5,000 to cater for the family, but saves 5, is far better than you who earns millions. So that culture of saving is what we want to develop, propagate among our people, that we don't have that high affinity for loans to be exploited, and it has caused a lot of trouble. You know, people running up and down, not picking calls, not staying in their houses, you know, being harassed, loan sharks harassing you, you know, bringing trouble and removing peace from the wananchi. I'm happy even the government saw that, because there was a public outcry. And now they are trying to control. The people I'm talking about are the money lenders, the loan sharks, who do not have a license, as you explained, Robert. They give you, you give them, okay, they give you a goat, but expect a cow. You get it? You have a land title or a land agreement, and you're just borrowing maybe 1 million. They'd say, no, you write the agreement that you have sold us your land. I mean, it looks unbelievable. That's why I am happy even the Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Kasaija, is intervening. Because there's a public outcry.
Definitely there is.
Parliament is intervening, there's a public outcry. And yet the people who are being harassed, these are the wananchi, these are the common people. You may have a need, like, you know, we live in a money economy. But it's not a crime to borrow money. But we should be orderly, so that when you borrow 5,000, you pay maybe 6,000. You know, like that, and in an orderly manner. But you'll find you don't sign an agreement, and you know, they don't appraise the loan. Sign here, bring your car. Robert, bring your car, park it there. You know, bring your logbook. I see it. And you know, this has been because our friends, commercial banks, found us a bit risky. we are risky. They cannot give you a loan. If you go to a commercial bank to get a loan, even the microfinance institutions, hey, turn, let us photograph your face this way. Let us do this. You lift your hand up. Put it, you know, let us photograph you in front of your car or in front of your house. I mean, what an embarrassment.
Yes.
Whereas
sometimes the entire village you live
really know. And now you're borrowing money to pay your daughter's fees in university. Then your daughter sees here being photographed inside the house. So bring your wife here. This, you know, what an embarrassment.
Well, now this takes me to Justin here. When we talk about strengthening SACCOS, first and foremost, Robert has been very eloquently explaining the value of these SACCOS. But much as we have so many SACCOS in Uganda today, we don't have the right statistics, because even yesterday there could be one registered. How we need to take Ugandans through the basic principles of forming these SACCOS. Because fellow Ugandans, I must say, we side on a wrong note as a country. How? His Excellency had the right vision about SACCOS in this country. Now, we had politicians who politicized this and told people that you're forming SACCOS to get government money. Now, if you listen to Robert explaining, it didn't have that connotation anywhere. That we come together, save amongst ourselves, like we are three here, make that pool. Then we borrow. Because on my own, I may not be able to raise 20 million and have a pool. But when we together bring, if we are 5, we have 20 million. If today I can borrow 10 and I'm bring back 14, our cap now has moved from 20 to 24. If tomorrow she takes the 5 and brings 6, so you end up having a chunk of money, and when you continue to borrow, your circle grows. But what do we do in a time when people formulated to get money? I think we must look at these grassroots principles for successful SACCOS. Justin, take us through that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Irabo. And I love today's topic. When we talk about a SACCO under Section 63 of the Cooperative Societies Act, Cap 107, is defined as a financial, it's a cooperative, a financial cooperative, a cooperative in financial nature. For SACCOs, they deal into financing, lending, mobilizing members to save, and issues around finance. So when we are to trace, we have come a long way as Ugandans. We get back to Mubende Mr. Deke, you know this history, 1913 with the Chinakulyas. Then during the times before we got the ordinance, actually that time even the lending money, the financial institutions at that time, the colonial time, in the start of the colonial times, they would only lend to Asians, to foreigners, not Ugandans. Actually, it was even illegal. The ordinance which was made, they should not lend to Africans. And that's how now, as Ugandans, people came up with ideas. What do we do? So then that's how we saw the saving and the saving SACCOS and a creditor bank come up in the 1940s. This was because Africans, the Ugandans could not access finances in the financial institutions at that time because the colonialists, of course, were protecting the economic element of the government. They wanted to be in charge of controlling the economy. So they made it hard for Ugandans to access. But eventually, when that bank, the cooperative bank was formed, the savings and credit bank, actually that's how at first it was, when it was formed, it was to help the Africans, the Ugandans, access finance for their enterprises. Of course, it was mostly agriculture. But when we saw also when Governor Cohen came in, at least the laws were relaxed, because even that ordinance which was first made, yes, they established the office of the registrar, too much, of course, the powers were vested into the registrar, but the colonialists at the time, of course, had stringent measures, and we didn't see many of our Ugandans register. We didn't see them register with under that given ordinance. So that's how they came up with their own. And eventually, when Andrew Cohen came in, he tried to enlighten, to tell about the cooperative, the principles. First of all, in our SACCOS, people are free, it's open and free membership. People should be open to get in, to get out at will, democratic member control. We should elect our own leaders. And when we've elected the leaders, what next? As cooperators, these are global principles, said we should have economic empowerment. And this is part of the pillar that we are talking about, because we want to see how can our members in these SACCOS be economically independent, how can they be, empowered. Then about autonomy is the next. We should be free as SACCOS. We should run our businesses as SACCOS with limited interference. And that's what was happening in the colonial times. We could not apply that principle of autonomy. So now we said enough was enough, and then we had the education and training as part of the principle, much as we are now. Yes, we've gotten together, and that's why we bring in topics. We thank you, BC, so much, because you've given us a good platform. I'm coming from Uganda Cooperative Alliance, the apex body of cooperatives in the country. We do capacity building, we do arbitration. We are a voice in the issues affecting cooperatives in the country. And we thank you so much for this platform, because the country is vast. We couldn't move everywhere and reach out, but given such a platform, we reach out to many, and we are getting so many of our members, the unions, the area cooperative enterprises on board. So as we're talking about that principle of autonomy, training and education information, this is what we are doing here. We have cooperation among cooperatives. We cooperate, that's why I see Walim is here. Personally, I also belong to Uganda Parliamentary Circle, but we compare notes. We are here saying under institutional circles like Walimu, like maybe the lawyers, those are institutional, the parish development holders talked about. How do we support each other? So when we come to the alliance as our apex body, we share. We actually even have a working group which has Uganda Cooperative Alliance, Uganda Union of Circles, Walimu is a member, just some key partners who come together to deliberate on the issues. Yes.
How do we build strong SACCOS? I think that is the biggest question. Yes. So that I don't need to run to a loan shark, but I can run to my SACCO, having known that there are some mistakes in the foundation. When I was growing up, for many things, my father usually used the word, but how was your foundation?
Yes.
If you tell him, Daddy, this, and says, my son, Musinji gwali gutya. If the foundation is wrong, then why do you think you're going to have straight walls and then roof properly? So the foundation of our SACCOS. Yes. I think also, Robert, you supplement.
Yes.
How do we bring back, because this is a very important issue.
It's important, Mr. Chiran.
If we found a SACCO for government to give us money, that SACCO may have challenges growing. It will end with, I've seen SACCOS where government injected money, and the money was spent because they didn't understand the entire thing, and now they have nothing. Some are hiding. Now the president in Teso sub-region has talked about denying bail for those. So some are hiding, some are going to hide for real.
True.
Now, how do we build this?
So, Mr.
Just then
yes,
let
like you said, that if when the Bible says so, if the foundations are shaky, then you don't expect the house to stand. So, as Uganda Cooperative Alliance, capacity building is one of our core mandate. We are supposed to bring together the cooperatives, the unions, the cooperators, and we digest the issues. So now we identified this issue of the loan sharks and want to strengthen our institutions. And within the dialogue we had before booking in this program, we brainstormed, we said, now what can we do? Because for us to have our members not go to the sharks, then that we have to put mechanisms in place. For instance, how do we need, first of all, a research. Yes, we've done research, we have some findings, that's how we come up with this. We discovered like this is a strong problem in the cooperatives, in the SACCOS. So one of the issues I would look at is financial literacy. If we would engage our members, if we would have us as leaders of the cooperatives build capacity. Now that takes us to our pillar of training, education and information. If we would teach them the culture of saving, we need to promote, because when you look at section 63 of the Cooperative Societies Act, yes, a SACCO is to mobilize members to save, for them to lend to them. And as leaders, we have a structure in cooperatives, and of course, a SACCO is a cooperative, as I told you. So within our structures, we have the boards, we have the AGM, the board, the supervisory, even sub-boards of the committees. Personally, a member of the credit committee of the Uganda Parliamentary SACCO. We even have the investment committee. So we also need to strengthen our sub-committees. The investment committee, if we are now a SACCO, how are we growing the savings of members? Members of the investment committee should be able to brainstorm. We should find alternatives. Maybe we've saved too much, we could look at maybe investment in unit trusts, government bonds, and treasury. But it's upon us as leaders in these SACCOs to be innovative enough to see how we can grow these savings. Because if we have enough money, if the liquid is enough, we have enough money, why would our members go out? And then on the other hand also, we need to look at our rates. Maybe our rates are not favorable. The terms in which we operate as SACCOs. Because now the question you're asking, why would our members not borrow within the SACCOs and they are going to the money sharks? So we need to revise our rates. We need to look into our rates. Are they favorable? And the rates keep changing with the economic conditions as well. So we should not have a constant, after even some of these monies belong to the members. So we can also look into say, how can we make the rates friendly? How can we empower these people in the culture of saving? How can we also, have them appreciate, the beauty of borrowing within? How can we make, and even us as leaders of SACCOs, we should encourage good principles, transparency, accountability. Don't they have enough faith in our SACCOs that they have to go out? So these are the questions that we ask ourselves as leaders. And when we come out, we want to reach out, we appeal to leaders to be transparent. Our systems are clear. We have the annual general meeting where we're supposed to account. We do audits. Section 71 is about auditing in the cooperatives. So we need to have promote good cooperative practices, that members' confidence will be built in the SACCOs, and eventually they will keep within, they will appreciate. If it's products, let's modify, let's diversify actually, because maybe we are only sticking on lending, saving, but maybe people might want emergency loans, and at times people mostly go to money sharks when there is an emergency. But you can find that maybe in our SACCOs we are too rigid, like we don't have such a product. Like someone has an emergency, they are going to a money lender, to a shark, money shark, who is not even registered. By the way, this according to the Tier 4 Microfinance and Money Lenders Act, there are regulations. SACCOs are supposed to be registered. I think Mr. Deke from section 35 almost to 60 talks about SACCOs. And yes, so we are supposed to have people who are into the learning business. They should be registered. But sometimes you find people who are not even regulated. They don't have any guidelines. And like you talked before, there's so much documentation. And when you have a problem, you may not have the time to read through from page 1 to page 20. You want the money very fast. So we also need our people to understand those terms and conditions of the loans, the processes and the
Now this takes me to Robert. Justin has mentioned a number of things. Training, transparency, but my concern now is how do we grow
Yes, institutional SACCOS.
these institutional SACCOS. First, in terms of the monies. 2, people owning these SACCOS. So they just don't look at them as, I have my money somewhere. But this is our SACCO, we must grow it. I've seen SACCOs that have operated on 20 million. Forever. 5 years down the road, we still have our 20 million. No increase, not touched. What happens? People are lent according to what they have there. That rigidity. If you have 10 million, my brother, no, if you have 5 million there, we can't lend you beyond the 5 million that you have there. And at times, people disassociate. It's like, let me keep my money there. You never know, you never know. So the SACCO is staying with the money, very accurate, you bring, but there's no development. What they're having is keeping the money. So it's very hard for someone to stay tight into there. So how do we build these monies to increase, but also how do we bring ownership? Because for successful SACCO, ownership must be seen. A SACCO must be, I usually tell friends, a SACCO must be felt in your bloodstreams, flowing. That is when you know that you have a very strong SACCO. Yes, Robert.
Yeah, thank you very much, Robert. There's the issue of confidence, just building on what Honorable Justin has said. Do the members really feel this is their own? Like you busy staff, if they have a SACCO, they really feel this is our own. We still have a problem that when you form a SACCO, an institutional SACCO, for instance, Newbies here, somebody says that is Robert's SACCO. If you're the chair, that is Robert's SACCO. They do not own it. And when you say, can we save money to be able to help you in the future? He puts 5,000. I say, but I'm saving. I saw this just recently. I was in Pakwachi training teachers of Pakwachi district. And in their bylaw, they also put 5,000, 10,000. Then I said, now, you're a teacher on a government payroll. The science teachers are now earning 4 million, isn't it? How would you save 10,000? And what do you expect from 10,000? So what I'm saying is that we want to appeal to our people to appreciate that this is their own. So that you save money there and you feel you're saving money there. And you grow the savings, because where do SACCOs expect to get money? It is from within ourselves.
Yeah.
That's why that principle of self-help, that we identify that we have a need in our community. Let us save. So that instead of running to Honorable, say, lend me 1 million, I go to the SACCO. Honorable puts money where? In the SACCO.
Yeah.
Robert puts money in the SACCO. So when I go there, I get the money. So that kind of principle is what we are trying to teach our people. But what has happened in Uganda today, this lack of confidence in our own institutions. So we need to build that confidence. We need to restore integrity in our leadership. We need to restore hope in our people. Because people usually don't trust so much. Say, Robert is the chairman. You know, you see. But once he has elected you, see, you elected the chair, and you said, I am the chair. This is not my project. This is our thing. I have come in, I'm putting also my money there, and I also borrow from there. So let us encourage our leaders also to borrow from the SACCOs. Like, for instance, the parliamentary SACCO Honorable has talked about. Parliamentarians should save in their SACCO, should borrow from their SACCO. Why, for heaven's sake, would loan sharks harass honorable members of parliament? And they are hiding, you know, in the corridors of parliament, you know,
We've run such stories.
You know,
Taking
that,
to an extent, yes.
It's embarrassing. Whereas their SACCO is there. So when they save in their SACCO, they borrow from their SACCO. We call it patronizing their SACCO. Eventually, the SACCO will grow. And so that eventually you'll find what it takes our people to loan sharks. Emergency, as the Honorable said. But we encourage most SACCOS to, like others who have developed, Walimu does, Wazalendo does, Exodus does, and these are the big SACCOS. You have that what we call emergency loan. Now emergency does not follow the normal procedure. Please apply, please this, guarantor, no. Robert, you call the treasurer. I am in a Kampala, I need 500,000. Because you are a member, because you are the owner of the SACCO, the treasurer just touches a button and you get the 500. For instance, you tell them, my child is out of school because they want money, supposed to do exams. It's okay. Quickly, give us the code. Then we sort out in our SACCO. So that kind of culture, I want our people to appreciate that the institutional SACCOs or the SACCOs, the cooperative business model, has come to help us remove that kind of, how would I call it? Embarrassment and restore our human dignity. That once you need some money, I don't need to go call friends here and there. So, you know, hey, but you see, Robert works. Why is he calling us? But when I go to my SACCO, it is my own, which means I'm the owner of the SACCO. I only inform the treasurer or the manager, please, 2 million for this. And the processor and pays the fees for the child. Then we sort out. That kind of system is what we are seeing, that we can strengthen these SACCOs, institutional SACCOs, right from our communities. Once we tell our community members that, please, this is your own. This is not President Museveni's project. This is your own. This PDM is your own. Save, borrow. What happens when the money that you have given 1 million away and you pay back? What happens? It is to give us what we call institutional capital, that we have 100 million we have lent out, and we need to strengthen so that those people who pay back, again, we lend actually. I believe with sometimes so that we have the capacity now to lend to other people who have not borrowed. And so that there is some confidence in the community. What we call a fallback position. Somebody does not say, what do I do? There's a calamity. I've lost a loved one. What do I do? But because of that social structure, we save there, we borrow there. When we lose the loved one, our members come, the chairman writes a letter. We had with the shock of maybe the demise of your loved one. We have here 500,000 for you. And we are also here. You see that kind of confidence. So somebody does not have the urge, say, okay, what do I do? Do I run to loan checks? No, I should call the chairman, my chairman of the SACCO. I should call the treasurer, the manager. They are there for me. You see, that kind of confidence once we develop, and we develop these institutional SACCOs.
Yes, Mr. Decker, you talked about, he talked about, he gave an example of a SACCO where in their laws for them, they said, for us in Kabera, you said Kabera Maida, we are saving 5,000. So now this one also made me reflect on the laws, the regulation laws, the policies. Of course, for us to have our SACCOs grow and, you know, members to have confidence, it takes us also back to the issue of regulations, the policies. As SACCOs, as cooperatives, we should have policies in place. These are our guiding documents. Like the church can have a Bible. Now, this is what we should have. We should move on. If you're a SACCO, what is your loan policy? What does it say? Your investment policy. So we would also encourage our SACCOs, our cooperatives in general, to have policies in place. These are our guiding documents. Like I told you, we even have subcommittees, the investment committees of the board, credit committee of the board. What are they operating upon? At times, maybe some members don't have this written down. We need to have it written. The Bible says, write down the vision and run with it, that, you know, you don't forget. So as institutions, as SACCOs, we need to have our policies in place, because these are our guiding documents, and these are areas that we shall also use to evaluate on the growth. And they will give members confidence, knowing that if I join this SACCO, at least there's even room, if when the AGM, they can make proposals, there's a board in place. Maybe if there are new sources of investment proposals, they can propose to the board, and maybe the AGM, they forward to AGM for adoption. So if we have the regulations, the laws in place, And if we also abide by the existing laws, we have the Cooperative Societies Act, it's a guiding principle for us. So we should abide by that so that we have the confidence of our members and also security for the money saved with us.
Robert,
Yes.
one other issue. Why does the community or the population not trust the SACCOS? You're a member, for instance, of a parliamentary SACCO, you don't save there, but your money is in the bank somewhere. And this is your SACCO. There's a problem of governance, the leadership of these SACCOs. And usually, I think, what happened, the people trust religious leaders more. Then they trust cultural leaders in that hierarchy. At least do they trust these politicians, you say, they say your statement. But we want the leaders of SACCOs. If you're a chairman, you're a board member, you're a committee member, you're a vetting committee, you're a supervisory board, you're any other committee there, know that I am working for the people. This is not my own. This is stewardship. We call it stewardship.
Exactly.
You're taking care of
On behalf
community
of-
money. For instance, you've been elected chair of UBC SACCO here. They have maybe 1 billion shillings. Tell them this 1 billion is not for me. It is for us, but I'm a custodian, I'm taking care. If you want it, please process like this. At the end of the year, we come and explain it to you. But somehow, I think because of our background, because we came from a background, you know, people either trying to make ends meet, even in our own projects, and somehow the community, the members have lost trust, and that's why even it's not opening up. When you have a problem, we are intending now to say, okay, the SACCOs are not only for money. Every time we meet, money. No, there's a social element of it.
Exactly.
We come together, not only for money. We need you as a person to guide us, we fellowship. You tell us, what is your project? I say, I'm going for poultry. Okay, let us talk to another brother who has managed poultry for a long time now, 10 years. Can they benchmark with that person before you begin a poultry? So we give advice one another. Usually what happens, because we take long to meet, formally or informally, that's why our members stray. So, but we need to strengthen that. It happens even at a family level. When you always meet at a family altar, you'll find you keep members together.
But Mr.
Than
Geke,
when
now,
you don't even,
But-
whether the child comes and picks food, Robert,
Yes.
then goes to their bedroom and eats from the bedroom.
that brings again, now as leaders,
Yes.
that's what we ought to do. That's why we have that training, education. But of course, we know that
but Justin-
as members of the AGM, we're supposed to meet annually.
Annually.
So, but for us as board members, that is our role now to make sure we are doing the right
Then
thing.
this takes me to something.
Yes.
You see, I have a problem with you elite people. Is we don't go down to understand the actual Ugandan. You're talking of annual general meeting. You're talking of a board. What else did you talk about?
Committees.
Committees. Now here for us we are. Now let's go to Kasoga Kaputo, where my grandfather is.
Yes.
Let's go to those rare places. For us, we are doing an activity burning charcoal. However illegal it is, we are still doing it. For us, we are beekeepers. For us, we are in a dairy. There has been so much sensitization, maybe. For us, we are border riders.
Yes.
Because the people that have their circles. Now, Christine, how do we form a circle to that level? Because when the border riders, they have been fleeced by the loan sharks we are talking about. Let's leave the Mwalimus,
Okay.
the Wazalendo,
yeah,
the
those
UBC circle, if at all it is there. That let's go to this person and look at him. How do they form their circle? How do they manage to grow it in terms of money? Because for them, they may not have, and you'll find one who brought the vision, let me call it a vision.
Yes.
Gundi atandika ekibiina kye alina akasaako ke nange ndi member And that one person may even say, Chintu change, it is my thing. So how do we help that person?
Now, simple, Robert. And oftentimes members of the public have been fleeced. Somebody comes and says, give me 500,000, I help form for years ago. And yet it is a simple procedure. Registration of a SACCO, to get a registration certificate, is only 50,000 shillings, which you pay in the bank. And they go with that receipt or bank slip to the registrar. The bylaws are already in a place. Draft bylaws. In Uganda Cooperative Alliance is there. You just buy a copy or a set of 4 copies and I think at 32,000. You know, already there, so that you only fill in the name. You fill in Kaputo, Boda Riders SACCO, Owino Market, Wilibaro Pushers SACCO. You only fill in the name. And the law says you must be at least 30. Now 30 active members, you fill in that bylaw. After filling in, then you need to put in that bylaw how much are you paying as members. What we call a membership fee. How much, what is the value per share? You also put there, maybe 20,000. Membership maybe 10,000. How much will you be saving per month or per week? Maybe 100,000 or 20. Let's talk of about 10. Then when you collect that, and remember, the members, the 30 members must sign those bylaws. They must attach their national identity cards, the copies, photocopies of national IDs. And usually when you fill that, you take to the district commercial officer to endorse, and will help you with the rest to write an application to the registrar to register you. Because the registrar in Kampala may not know you in Kakutu. But once the district commercial officer, either for Rakai, comes in and endorses an application with the bylaws attached, with the national IDs of the members, you get with the statement of affairs that shows the difference between a cooperative, a SACCO, and like a company. A cooperative, government or the law says you can begin it before registration. So the registrar is interested to know, is it viable? Are members there? Have they paid membership? Have they bought shares? Are they saving? Even borrowing, are they borrowing? Then that one we call a statement of affairs. The commercial officer knows how to make. Just a statement. So this is a total membership fee, total savings, total shares, and so forth that may be spent like this. They've been lent out a loan to this tune. He will send all of those documents, a schedule of documents to the registrar with that bank pay-in slip of 50,000 and give the registrar just about 2 weeks. And they will be registered. But the registration there, we call it a temporary, a provisional registration certificate for 2 years. So that when you find you operate very well, you go back to the registrar, then it gives you a permanent registration certificate.
Well, viewer, now that is the journey of forming a SACCO. And one very thing we are sure of, if you have strong SACCOs in this country, then people will not go for loan sharks. If we have them as institutions, if you have them as groupings, and I know thou shalt sail smoothly. But time seems to be flying. I'll just give each of my guests a minute to have their parting shot. And let me begin with Justin.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Chirabo, and our dear viewers. We value cooperatives, we value SACCOs, so we encourage Ugandans to adopt, to fit in the existing cooperatives. Let's use the cooperative model towards development. It's an avenue to pull our own money. It's an avenue we can share ideas, and we move forth economically. It's a grassroots tool we can use to empower our citizens economically.
Yes, Robert.
Thank you very much, Robert. Thank you, viewers. The final appeal is the ground is now very clear. The laws are there in place. There's goodwill from government. So let us strengthen our SACCOs where we are, be it at the community level, the PDM, be it in our churches, be it in our workplaces, on our places of business. Join and be part of it and strengthen it, and actually be active so that eventually we do not get into trouble, but our colleagues, our friends there will save us, and that should be a fallback position. And we shall grow so that we make Uganda shine again.
Well, I just want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time, but also for this very interesting topic, growing SACCOs, strengthening them so that we avoid loan sharks. They have taken so much of ours, yet we can now make our own money, save this money, grow the capital in this SACCO, and borrow from our SACCOs and not go to those that will give us a goat and then demand a cow. Have a lovely day. That All Man is here to take you through sports updates and also to let us know how we shall eventually come home with the trophy of the African Cup of Nations. See you tomorrow. God bless you.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this